So we're just going to go again with Mabes. This the Wi-Fi, yeah. Here we go again. I'm only ringing Irish fellas from now on. Anyone else who's away, I'm not ringing them. Robert, how are you doing? Big Leeds fan. Rory, well, Sham. We're just waiting for Mabes to tune in here now.
Yeah,
Now, there you are.
right.
You
Now,
another one with dodgy Wi-Fi.
now, it must be the time of night, Al. Everyone must be on.
They're all on, yeah. No, it's grand now. It's perfect now.
Now, I felt I was comfortable in that environment in the squad. I'd grown up at Leeds, you know what I mean? The big players coming in, but I trained with them every day. So there was certainly days when I played in the reserves or played in training, I felt I deserved a chance. But ahead of me is Gary Kelly. Then they go and sign Danny Mills, Ian Hart, Don Matteo. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard. And then, like I said, when it's Eddie Gray, some opportunities I didn't take, some I didn't get when I felt I deserved. But then, like Eddie says, if you don't take them, we stop giving them, son. That's the end of that.
So then, Mabes, yeah, you went out on loan a couple of times, but I suppose your big move then at the time, because you were mad to get out and play first team football, when you went to Hearts, and that proved really fruitful and successful. So I suppose, how influential then was Craig Levein on you? Because of course we'll be moving on to Leicester in a few minutes, and you went there with him too. But that was a good time for you when you went to Scotland.
Yeah, so I'd probably been looking to get out of Leeds for maybe a year. Jim, I wasn't playing. Yeah, as part of the squad, sat on the best benches in Europe. It's brilliant, but I'm not actually playing. I just wanted to play. And Hearts came in to take me on loan, and I turned it down because it's like, I don't want to go on loan and come back and be in the same situation. And then I travelled with the first team squad down to Leicester, funnily enough. And in the League Cup, they won 6-0. I think Viduka scored a hat-trick. But I was just in the stand. And the next day we're training. And then I got called into the office at lunchtime to say, we've accepted a bid from Hearts, you can go. And that was it. I flew up to Edinburgh on Wednesday night, trained on Thursday, signed on Friday, and played on Saturday, and that was me gone.
And how good was Craig Levein at the time, Mabes? Or
It's funny. I didn't know where Hearts was. I didn't know who Craig Levein was. You know what I mean? But it just worked out. But it was just another manager in a similar mould. I think he's a good pal of Roy Aitken. I think that's how it came about. But he's a similar mould to Paul Hart. He's tough. He's demanding. He's no nonsense. But there was just a group. The first year was maybe difficult, but then after that, we finished third a couple of years in a row behind like good Rangers and Celtic teams.
Yeah,
played in Europe. Didn't do great in the cups, but we're just a good like there was. All the lads were kind of similar age. All lived within 10 minutes of Edinburgh city centre. You know, there's hardly any travelling. It's a good life. And then what maybe I didn't have in big games like with Leeds, you were playing Rangers and Celtic away, or the chance to play a Hampden or things like this. And it was the derby games were brilliant. So it was the right place for me. And I played well over 100 games for Hearts, and I probably got more caps for Ireland when I was at Hearts than anywhere else. So just playing week in, week out. And the biggest thing that I recognised was when I got back into the Ireland squad, and I remember we played 4 games at the end of the season, and there was boys there that I would say are better than me, but because of where I was fitness-wise, confidence-wise, all these things, like I just felt I could, I was better, I could run away from people, whereas I didn't have that, certainly when you're in and out of teams.
Yeah, there's no substitute whatsoever to go out and play. And on that one, Mabes, then you did finish, I was even only reading today, back-to-back, third in the league. You were doing really well. Just how big was the step up, did you find, compares to, say, what you were used to before, where a bit of reserve team football, you went on loan to Crewe and Reading, but the actual Scottish Premier League at the time, how hard or tough was it? Because you said there was really good Celtic and Rangers teams at the time.
Yeah, so my first game, we beat St Johnstone 3-0, and I thought, this is, I've cracked it here, do you know what I mean? Joined a good team. And the next week we played Hibs away in the derby. We conceded after 24 seconds. And the place was rocking. Dela Cruz, who went on to Aston Villa, he scored.
How big is that derby?
Massive. They hate me in Edinburgh because I played for both.
Nicky's involved. Nicky wants to know who cut your hair in lockdown. It's horrendous, isn't it, Nicky?
he cut his own though. It was like Gracie.
Gracie cut. He better pay her well. I'm just saying, Nicky. I hope he paid her more than what he used to pay for cleaning my boots.
He was well paid, don't worry.
But that derby, Mabes,
It's good. I used to think like people were kind of friends all week, and then when the derby came, they didn't speak to each other, and then they went back to pals. It wasn't as intense, but see, as it's gone on, it's got bigger. It's probably got a bit nastier. Do you know what I mean? It's big. It's like I love playing in them, and as I say, they don't like me because I played for both sides of them.
Oh yeah.
But my record in them's decent. I don't think I lost too many. Though I did lose a few. Do you know what I mean? But I lost the first one, and then I didn't lose one for quite a while. But it was brilliant, and it just like we were 4-2 down in stoppage time before and drew 4-4, like mental games. But the thing about Scotland, I always said I'd gone from Leeds reserves to playing first team. So the first season, I maybe ran out of steam or struggled in some of the games. But then once I got a good pre-season, I felt more settled and part of the group. And then signed some decent players that did well for us, and we really kicked on. But you were never going to catch Rangers or Celtic, so you're trying to be best of the rest all the time. And we managed that for a couple of years. And normally what would happen is a team would make such an effort to get third, then they'd fall away the next year. So to be able to kind of sustain it was good.
Nicky's saying there, great job to Gracie, and he's right, Jazz. So, and he's missed out on a lot of the praise. We've already said all the nice things about you as a goalkeeper.
This is it.
And he's saying my boots were never dirty because I was in the dugout. How could they be dirty? But on that, Mabes, with the whole Celtic Rangers thing, how hard is it for a club, any club in Scotland bar those two, to break into those two?
Oh, it's impossible. You can beat them. Like we beat them both on one-off games, or like we're 1-0 down to Celtic, and we beat them 2-1 at Tynecastle, but it was like a wonder straight from 25 yards, the top corner late on. Do you know what I mean? You have to hang in the games. But I also got beat 4-0 at home by Rangers. I got beat 5-0 away to Celtic. So you took some hammerings. Just a couple of games, you can make it competitive, and it's 1-0, or you get a couple of draws. But I would say after 3 years, I probably beat Rangers and Celtic once each. Do you know what I mean? And a few draws, but you can get them now and again. But they just, like, Celtic team at that time was like Larson, Sutton, Hartson, Lambert, Lennon.
Proper Celtic.
Proper. And then Rangers was like Barry Ferguson, Amoruso, Lovenkrands, Michael Moles, proper Rangers. And it was like Arthur Newman, De Boers, Stephen Close. Like it was
wow.
Ridiculously hard, but we were able to be the best of the rest.
And on that, Mabes, I know we're going to ask you about some of the teammates' questions and the players you played against. But just Larson, how good was Larson? Everybody goes on about, like, there was a debate on Twitter, the best Scottish player ever to play, the best player to ever play in the Scottish Premier League. Was he that good?
I didn't play against him loads, but see the games, and I remember the one we beat them 2-1, he wouldn't do maybe a lot in the game. Like, he wouldn't be linking it up and busy and always threatening. He'd be maybe quiet, and Sutton and Hearts would be battering you, and then just out with nothing, he'd score 2 and that'd be it, game over. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think just when he went on from Celtic, like, obviously he did amazing at Celtic, and then what he's gone on to do, Man United and then Barcelona, do you know what I mean? Just the goals he scored, it was amazing. But my own experience is maybe just be quiet. He wouldn't be the most involved, but then he'd be 2 goals, and that'd be it. You think you're doing all right, on you to go home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nicky's after saying there about you could have went to Rangers. We discussed that as well, Nicky. And if he went to Rangers, we'd never talk to him ever again. So then you move, Mabes. Obviously, Levine is doing well at Hearts, and he's a good name, obviously doing very well up there. And Leicester City take him, and the first thing he does is sign you and De Vries.
Yeah.
So how big of a move was that? Obviously, back into England, back to the Premier League as well.
It was good. I was out of contract at the end of the season, and I probably felt I was maybe coming to I was going to move on. Listen, I spoke to Hearts a couple of times, and listen, wasn't really going anywhere with the talks. You know what I mean? I didn't know in the background maybe Craig was trying to work to move on. Do you know what I mean, or test himself or whatever. So he went in about the November. I don't think it was a real surprise. But then I was still at Hearts until the winter break, and then we played Hibs. And then I came in the next day, and John Robertson was manager. He's like, "What are you doing then?" I'm thinking, well, I'm here till I'm told otherwise, because there's been a bit of stuff in the paper. And then it was later that day, I got a phone call and I flew down and whatever. But Craig was good for me, but I must have been good for him because like, he signed me twice. But he was just the right type of manager. Gone down to Leicester, and when I went down to Leicester, I felt kind of, I'd done what I needed to do, go out and play at a good level, establish myself a little bit. And then when I came back to Leicester, I remember thinking, because the chief executive showed us around the whole stadium, like the staff, the offices, the whole lot. And I remember thinking, I'm back at a big club now again, similar to like what I'd left at Leeds and that. And I felt, I'm ready to be here and that. And it was, the first season was good. And we had a decent run of games. We got to quarterfinals of the FA Cup. And there's been a bit of change, they'd been relegated the year before. But like the players that were there, Jason Wilcox was there, David Connolly, Keith Gillespie, Martin Keown, Dion Dublin, Ian Walker, Lillian Nallis, like big James Skokoff, big players, Premier League players. And I don't know, and maybe now as a coach you'd maybe look at it more kind of back the way, but it's how much was Craig asked to cut? How much did he want to cut? Do you mean? Because suddenly what was leaving and what was coming in, it probably wasn't the same quality, but could we get it going? Do you know, this type of thing? And at the start of the next season, we got beat by Sheffield United, Warnock Sheffield United, the first day of the season. And then the second game, we beat Stoke 4-2 or something. David Connolly scored a hat-trick. And you think, there's the makings of a good team here. And then David Connolly got sold to Wigan. And I think that was a kind of big moment at Leicester. And then the boys who came in were good, but they were young. And we never going after that. We'd win one, draw one, lose one. And then at Christmas, Craig got sacked.
And did you feel, maybe because of the connection you had with him, obviously Hearts, he was good for you, you mentioned it there, then he brings you to Leicester, you're playing every week. Did you feel when he gets the sack, you're feeling, this isn't good for me?
See, looking back, no managerial change has probably worked out in my favour. Do you know what I mean? It's the one that brought me in when they leave, the next one has their own ideas, and it's never really worked for me, but I felt I'd more let him down a bit, because I could see what we had at Hearts, but we never really got that going at Leicester.
But is that sometimes because of the personnel as well in the dressing room?
Listen, it was difficult. There was there's so many big name players at Leicester, and again, just saying, how much did Craig have to cut, and how much did he think, nah, he's not for me, I can get a better one for cheaper, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just never got it going. But Craig said, like, in that championship, there's no one as good as Rangers and Celtic, and he was right. But what probably he maybe didn't think is there's 20 clubs as good as Hearts. Do you know what I mean? Because he felt our Hearts team would do well in the championship, but we had to, like, you win 5 or 6 of the teams around you, you finish third. Do you know what I mean? Whereas there's 20 teams in the championship that realistically think they deserve to get promoted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like Saturday, Tuesday. Like, I think, and I might be wrong, but I think my first 10 games at Leicester, 9 of them were away from home.
Okay. I think it's the toughest league in Europe.
Once again, you know?
It's the toughest league in Europe, the championship.
It's hard. But listen, we had some good players there. Danny Tiato, Nisa Johansson, Rob Douglas came down from Celtic, Paddy McCarthy was there, Gareth Williams, Ian Hume and Matty Fryer were boys we signed. So there's good core. Listen, there wasn't bad players there, but it's just knowing that league, and it's relentless, and it's tough, like. But I enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? And I just felt I'd let Craig down a bit because I could see what we maybe could, or he could do, and he never. I don't think he really got a chance.
So then, mate, as I said, he got the sack. I was over with you for the weekend for a visit, visiting you.
He got sacked.
The day you brought me into the training ground, and you knew Martin Allen was basically saying, "Mabes, all the best." Without even giving you a chance.
No, so before him, Craig's assistant Rob Kelly took over.
Yeah.
And see, now our coach, and I don't know if it's, I was about 29 or 30 when Rob took over, but I don't know if it was me or him or all these things, but he was the first coach then that was more like a technical caring coach now. So Rob had come through the youth systems at Watford and Wolves, Blackburn, loved the technical player. But when he took over, he was like, "Oh, call me Rob," and how we trained and what we did, and how like, whereas so all along I'd have, like, you know, I had a George Graham, Paul Hart, Craig Levine. They shout
tough
and tough. Just you do this, I say okay, and then Rob's asked me, "What do you think?" Do you know what I mean? I'm like, and I don't know if it's just me or everything just came together. And see, it's a big moment in my career. I think just going forward. And then that was more the coach I wanted going forward after that.
Okay. So do you think, and I know we'll get to a little bit about your coaching now, but would you be more Rob Kelly than Paul Hart?
I have Paul Hart's standards or whatever of old school standards of work hard, details matter. But I'm 100% on Rob Kelly. Like when I was at Falkirk, I profiled all my players, like to see how they think, how they react. Do you know what I mean? What goes on in their heads? Because I believe if you can understand the player and you can help the player and the person, you've got half a chance.
So are you catering to the players' needs then when you coach? Because every personality is different, as we know from our experience.
Yeah, so I try and say, like, they have a freedom, they must make decisions, and that's what they want as this generation. They want to make decisions, they want to be involved, but they need to work within my framework.
Nicky's saying, don't get me started on Paul Hart.
I know.
I'll ask Nicky about Paul Hart, don't worry.
But see, just on Martin Allen, right? Gracie had just been born. She was like 2 months.
That was the weekend we came over.
Aye, so she was 2 months old, and I got called in, and like it was in June, so we were off, and he's like, "I've heard a lot of good things about you. Your stats are good, performances are good. You'll not play here." And that was the meeting. I was like, "Well, I have a year left, and I just had a baby, so I'm not going anywhere." And then I think he told a few of us, and then we came in for first day of pre-season. It's like 35 players. And he had a director of football. He's like, "What are they doing here?" And the director of football thinking, "Well, like, nothing to do with me." And he's like, "Why have we not got rid of them?" And it was just like, he lasted 4 games. It was carnage. But that whole season was, I had 6 managers in 6 months. Okay. And that's when you just thought, I need to get out, like.
So on that, mate, then you go back to, I don't want to Colchester, St. Johnson, Hibs. I'm going
to bounce around a bit.
I want to get on to the Ireland stuff, and then I want to get on to the teammates, because Nicky's probably wondering, is he going to be the goalkeeper? But just on that, so you did get 10 caps, obviously. Do you feel, you said there when you went to Hearts, you were playing every week, so obviously that you were in a much better position to be getting picked for the national team and stuff. Do you think 10 caps is reflective on the career you had, or should you had more, or what do you think?
See when I look back at my career, and I think about it, I've spoken a few times about this, there's always, you could have done better, you should have won more, should have played at a higher level, earned more money, all these things, right? But I didn't. And I'm proud of the career I had, because I say that small window when maybe you're going to go one way or the other. But when I look at the Ireland caps, so when I got my first cap, I was just like, I got my first cap at 19. I was on the back of a B international. But when I got my first cap at 19, I don't know how many have it now, but I was one of maybe only 7 or 8 who got capped at every level. So 15, 16, 18, 21B in full. Now, there's loads who've missed out, loads have some of this, but there wasn't, when I done it, there was 7 or 8 of us, and that's it. So I don't know, because there's not many of B internationals. Or you have someone like Robbie Keane, who I don't think has 15s, you know, this type of stupid thing. Yeah. But then I wasn't playing for Leeds, so I'm not going to play for Ireland, am I? But then when I was playing well for Hearts and I got back in, it was Brian Kerr, and heard Kev Caban speaking about him last night. Brilliant. But the fullbacks at the time, Gary Kelly, Steve Finnan, Steve Carter, Ian Hart, and John O'Shea. I'm lucky to get any caps.
And you were playing behind me in the reserves at Leeds.
Exactly. So how am I going to get any caps? So
to be fair, actually, there's one, and it was the position you played, Mabes, and you named out a few there. When you think of the right backs Ireland have had, like out of all the other positions on the pitch, they must have had some of the best right backs in Europe over the years.
Amazing, and
Dennis Irwin.
Unbelievable. Steve Staunton, Joe 100 and whatever cups. Amazing. And then it's just, at the time I played, they were the fullback. So see, to get any caps. Yeah. So even the game I came back in, I think someone like Steve Finnan or something pulled out with the squad, injured. So Brian Kerr pulled me up, and then I trained, and then he calls me into his room that night and he says, "Oh, Stephen Carr's feeling something, so I'm going to play you tomorrow." So suddenly out of nothing, I've got a cap, and then I played well, and then I was in the squads, and then I had to be patient, and then it was really at the end of that season, we played 4 games. It's the game Roy Keane came back into. So we played Romania on a Thursday night, Nigeria on a Saturday in London, Jamaica on the Wednesday in London, and then Holland away on the Saturday, and I was the only one in the squad to start all 4.
On that night in Holland, and that was the game, that was an amazing game, wasn't it? And I know, like, everybody loves Roy, and everyone that's been on so far has spoken about him. What was your experiences of him, Mabes?
I love Roy Keane, and see the character on, you know, like you watch and that brilliant. But I never really seen that because I was in the squad he came back in, so he was quite mellow, calm. He didn't really want to start some trouble. So I think Brian had done a deal where he come and play the Romania game, and then he doesn't play any of the rest. So he came in, he kept his head down, and he was brilliant. But like in the squads going on after that, Roy was brilliant, and it's like I hear everyone talking. He got the standard going up. I remember him firing a pass in like a passing drill, and I'm not being able to control it. And he's shouting at me, "Sort your feet out, Mabes," and they're getting just tangled up. Do you know what I mean? And I'm panicking. But then
I used to shout that at you as well.
But I've seen another side of him, like people like nutmeg him in training, and he's just laughing. He just gives a right smile. I also seen him. As only Ireland can do, we're playing Ireland v England in training, the Irish, and Roy wants a penalty and he's chasing Noel O'Reilly down like it's like Andy Derso, and Brian Kerr's cancelling training. Do you know what I mean?
I love Roy Keane.
But see, when you sat around the hotel with him and he just telling us stories about when he was younger or being at Forest or all these sorts of things, I just think he thinks just differently. And his standards are so high and he's so driven. And I remember, I think it was France away or something, and it was the day before training, and I'm just, you know, it's just free time at the end or whatever, and I'm watching him, and I think it was a moment, and I thought, he doesn't do anything brilliant, but he does everything brilliant. Like, you fire the ball at him, no matter what, he'll control it and he'll pass it. Whereas, like, you know, my feet are tangled up, my crosses are going over the bar, whatever, he just did everything, the basics, perfect. And you're just sitting there thinking, that's why he's where he is.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Okay, Mabes, that's brilliant. We're going to get on to the questions now, the good part, the teammates. And obviously you've played with a lot, so you can pick one if you want, or if you want, just to give her, I suppose, a nod to 3 or 4 lads, well, but I do want one. And if I'm not in contention here, there'll be trouble. The best player that you played with.
See, Alan, you're everything, right? So your passing's amazing.
Yeah.
But don't stand there watching it. Do you know what I mean?
Tell me more.
Yeah, but that type of thing.
I've heard that a million times, Mabes, a million times.
But that's, I mean, your technique's good and tactically you're good, but then did you have the behaviours? Do you know what I mean?
I certainly didn't have the behaviours. Absolutely.
You're the best player in your mate's 5-a-side.
Yeah, but sure, look, it's not a bad thing to have.
No.
The best player you played with?
I was really lucky at Leeds. Even when I first went there, it was like McAllister. Let's say Tony.
McAllister was the best I ever played against. He was unreal.
Unbelievable. And he was brilliant with the young boys. Like, we'd be, you know, getting the gear in, and he's like, I'll ping balls with you. Do you know what I mean? Gary Speed was saying, was brilliant. Joe was at Leeds when I was there. Thomas Brolin.
No way.
Yeah, he had a whole hamper. Do you know the hampers for the boots? For just his boots. The whole youth team wore them. We were all in his Nikes.
I thought you were going to talk about his hole, how big it was.
He was just at the wrong team. See if he's
Is he good, Brolin?
Unbelievable. But because we had Brian Dean, it would go long and all that sort of thing. See if he played in the passing team. He was unbelievable.
Okay. Remember that goal he got against England?
That was kind of the first kind of team at Leeds, and then the second one, which obviously when you were there, the Champions League run, your likes of Decor and Batty, and
there's a player, Mabes, that not many people know, and it's great on these chats, names come up. But David Batty, I never realised just how good he was until you actually see him train and play.
But he's another. He hated football. Didn't like football before his motocross.
But people think he used to just go around kicking people, but never gives the ball away. Unbelievable.
No, and it was him and Decor a lot in the centre midfield. And you think, they're just two boys who just go and put their foot in, but they could play. Yeah. Like Decor as well. See, pre-season, didn't want to run, none of that nonsense. Do you know what I mean? But just give him a ball, you don't get it back. You know what I mean? Brilliant. So there was that era of players which were amazing. But I know everyone said it, but the best is Roy Keane.
Okay, I mean? Everyone has said it so far.
But again, I didn't see the one that flies off the handle, but just how he thinks, the influence, the standard. I say do the basics well. And I say I didn't play a lot of games with him. I played a few, but just like even that. So the thing I noticed today with the international. So as a fullback, I got loads more time on the ball because teams would drop off. So
Mm.
you'd have the ball, but you'd know where to go. Do you know what I mean? You're thinking, where do I pass? You'd back to the keeper and that'll be it. But you just give it to Roy. It was a bit like in the youth team. Just give it to Steve McPhail. And he'll do something with it and that'll be it. Do you know what I mean?
What I love about with Keane as well, and it's an absolute nonsense. Like you watch, and I know Kilban was raving about him the other night, and rightly so. But Kev was making the point out he's the best midfielder that ever played in the Premier League. And you listen to Lineker and Match of the Day and Shearer, they're doing these top 10 players and all this stuff, and they'll always put Gerrard ahead of him or Lampard, and they were great players. Don't get me wrong, Vieira. Keane was the best by a country mile.
I didn't see Gerrard live a lot. But I remember I played against Lampard and he got the ball like off the centre backs and he steps into midfield and then he sprayed it wide and then he jogged, but it's him on the end of it.
Okay.
Like he's elusive through midfield. And he was amazing. But again, like some of these players I didn't play with a lot, and I've trained with some like unbelievable players at Leeds and played with them. But see, for just Roy Keane, I remember I think it was France, just watching him train, thinking. But I also seen him. I remember, I think Kev said it, he'd fire a pass at Ellen Road into like York or Cole.
Yeah.
Like nearly shot at him. And then they gave it away and he had to chase back. And 10 minutes later, he's still slaughtering them for not holding on to the ball.
Keane's the best.
And he just thinks different. The standards. So for 12 years at Man United, those standards never dropped. He told us again, they were playing 11v11 in training. And Quinton Fortune, who I think is one of the boys he actually got on with at Man United, was messing around with the ball and he just like absolutely halved them. And Quinton Fortune sitting on the ground thinking, what are you doing? Put his hand up, say, Roy, give us a hand up. He says, no, you wouldn't do that in a game, so don't do it in training, just walked off. But they're the standards every day, and you've seen it, Al. Boys can do it for a bit and they can do it sometimes, but can you do it day in, day out? And he did it at the very top, day in, day out.
No, he was amazing, yeah. Okay, babe, so he's the best to play against.
A few have torn me apart, Al. And I played against Tony Cruz when he was 18. He played as a winger for Bayern Munich, and he
a winger, yeah.
That's what I mean. He can't run. He sits in midfield. He ran by me every time. But
quick as well.
But I also played against Overmars.
Okay.
Who was ridiculous, and the Arsenal back four in general at Highbury, where they had seemed to have loads of time and I had no space. But the best I played against is David Ginola.
Tell the truth, he destroyed you, Ginola.
Well, we were playing it was one of my...
Don't be making up some excuses now.
He wasn't even playing left wing. He was... we played at White Hart Lane. It was one of our first games. And we had big Alfie Haaland.
Ah.
He was man marking him.
In his boots as well, Alfie's.
He was man marking him, but he kept coming out to the left. So we're doubling up on him, and we still couldn't stop him. But we won the game 1-0. I think Rod Wallace or something scored. But he's like, wingers used to be small. This was like, he's 6'2" or 3. He's wide. He's quick. He's strong. He looks good. He smells good. He's ridiculous, Al. And then I played against him again, I think, at Ellen Road as well, and he was even better. You know, I think he did play left wing. I think I got taken off half time. The other ones I struggled against were, I remember one game, like wingers that stayed wide. So, boy at Derby, Asanovic.
Yeah.
So they just pinged it out to him. He's on and he take one touch and in it goes. And I really struggled. Same as at Celtic. I didn't mind playing against wingers who run at you, but Steve Guppy, he stays out wide, takes a touch and delivers.
Yeah.
And then in the end of my career, right-footed wingers coming in.
Tortured.
So couldn't have played now.
Tell me this, Mabes, right? So Ginola's the best. Tell me this. How is Alfie Haaland's son as good as he is with Alfie as his dad? Tell me that.
Alfie had some career though, didn't he?
But Alfie was ordinary.
Alfie was mental.
But he was ordinary.
Were you at Leeds when he wrote off his car on the way to training?
No.
So he's on that back road through Weatherby.
Yeah.
And he ends up walking in. I'm like, Alfie, what's happened? Then he's like, I'll roll my car. It's in the head. It's like down by the racetrack. It's in the field upside down. You just walk the rest of the way in.
By the way, his son is absolutely outrageous.
But is his boy not born in Leeds?
I don't know.
That's what I heard. He's born in Leeds.
Okay.
So
All right, mate, brilliant. The best manager you played under?
The best one for me was Craig Levein. Paul Hart was brilliant as a youth team, and I say, even when I went back a couple of years ago, I was still like, I didn't know, I was still a bit frightened of him. And I remember him saying, like, you're doing training, and he says, I'll see you at the end of training, let me know what you think. I'm thinking, how do I get out of this? And they did this passing drill, and it was terrible. The standard was terrible. And then I thought I'd got away with it, and he said, what do you think? I was like, would you not slow it down, just get the standard going first? He says, no, if they're the standards, the boys need to play. If they can't do that, they can leave. And that was it.
I would have loved Paul Hart.
Brilliant. He would have loved you, but the work, you had, like, listen, they love Macker and they love Harry and all that, but you all had to work, do you know what I mean? But yeah. Paul Hart was like things that coaches are reinventing the wheel now. Our centre backs used to split, Macker come and get the ball. If you couldn't give it to Macker, the keeper was expected to throw the ball into the centre forward in our half of the day. Do you know what I mean? On the centre circle.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we go and play off that. And like, this is 20 odd years ago. We're playing back in these sort of patterns. Do you know what I mean? But manager wise, Paul Hart listened to the standards that I try and instill players now. But for me, Craig Levein, and it was the first time, because at Leeds, we're a big club, we just did, we play this way. And it's the first time, I remember a game, Craig's playing like he had number 5 in his back, so he was a centre back, but he also played as a striker. And Craig's playing him left wing. Do you know what I mean? And we're playing on this, they've done his homework, and we play on him, we play off this, and do you know what I mean? He's tactically very good, brilliant with us.
Well, he was so good for you, Mabes, to be fair. He has to be the manager.
He was good for me, and I think what counted against him was when we went to Scotland and he played that 4-6-0. But see, if he'd called it anything other than 4-6-0.
4-6.
I know, but you now have coaches they play 6 midfielders and false 9s and all this.
Yeah.
It's just another name for some nonsense. But he played with Stephen Naismith as a kind of lone striker, but when he hadn't got a drop in, so they went 4-6. And he'd seen some other team do it, and he just got slaughtered for it.
Yeah. You better not be picking any 4-6-0s, or I'll tell you what, I thought for you. Okay, Mabes, best memory in football?
I have a few. Obviously, my debut, Aston Villa, 17-year-old. My Ireland debut. I don't know if I really enjoyed them. I enjoyed my Leeds debut, but ended up nearly being like a one-off because I didn't play for a bit after that. Same with the Ireland one. But I remember going back, my game back for Ireland. We played Czech Republic in Dublin and winning and all this. And I think I then felt more, could enjoy it and things like this. But see, I watched all your videos, Alan, and think, listen to boys and think, see, just my whole career, and there's so many things. Like at 35, I played in the cup final for Hibs, which is the only time I've done it. Winning the Youth Cup, when I look back, of Leeds have never looked like near that. I say, I don't know if Leeds have won a trophy since. All these things that are just playing for every level of Ireland at 19. Maybe I peaked at 19, just stupid things like this, but I loved it all. And you know, when I finished playing, people say, do you miss it? I still trained up until I was like 38, 39, joining in with the young lads now sometimes. But I just missed the build-up for big games. Not even playing in the big games. See, the build-up for big games, I really missed that. So, see, they've had that on quite a few occasions. Loved it.
Okay, you should be very proud of your career, Mabes, anyway. Okay, the best, I'm going to test your managerial skills now just to see how good you are. You have to pick a 5-a-side, right?
Yeah.
Well, now I'd say the best one, I think Kilban's is the best one. Wayne Rooney, Duff and Robbie Keane. And Reid had a good one as well, to be fair.
I can put all them in as well, if you want.
No, you pick your best 5-a-side.
But I had this one, right? Here's my youth team 5-a-side. Robinson, Woodgate, McPhail, Kuehl and Smith. Yeah,
well, we've already spoke about those boys. I'm telling you, that group is as good as what the second best compares to the class of 92.
There's a youth team, just, do you know what I mean? It's amazing. But just for, I'll put a keeper in, right? Because you have to, I know you don't like them, but anyway. And I played with a few, like Nigel Martin, Paul Robinson, Nicky, in case he's still on here.
You better give Nicky a mention or you won't be happy, yeah.
But I played with Nicky from under 10.
Tell him again how good he was there if he's listening.
Honestly, he was amazing, and he had to maybe be patient to get in the Ireland squads, and then he got in, and say when we went to Leeds, they'd never seen a performance like it, and he signed at Leeds, and see at the start, First year was really good. I say we roomed together. And second year, for whatever reason, he made one mistake, and it was an excuse to get some of the other keepers in. But it worked out all right for him. But I
think he's done okay, yeah.
See, when you ask him, I don't know, because I've never asked him it. But see, for everything he's achieved and all that, I don't know if he still would have preferred to be a footballer.
He loves the football, yeah.
I know, but I see deep down, if he could have been a footballer, would he have? I think he'd prefer that.
Would he swap the pop star to be a footballer?
Yeah, I think he would.
Well, if I'm lucky enough to get him on here, we'll ask him. Okay.
But I played with Craig Gordon, was just coming through it. Hearts when I was there, but he was a young boy. Now he obviously went on. He ended up the most expensive goalkeeper in Britain when he went to Sunderland. But see, just before he got in, the best keeper I played with is Anthony Niemi.
Mate, the story on the radio with Anthony Niemi.
Oh, it's brilliant. But I played with him for about a year and a half.
Was he good, yeah?
And he was amazing. And then he went to Southampton. Strachan took him to Southampton. He went to Fulham. But like, he was unbelievable. The most laid back. Even when they sold him to Southampton, he's like, "Oh, I don't really want to go. John, I like it here in Edinburgh." My wife likes it. I don't want to go. And they're like, "No, you need to go. We need the money." But seeing training, games, he was amazing. And I know other keepers have maybe, but he's the one. So Craig Gordon's went on to be brilliant. Didn't play a lot with Nigel or Shea, or do you know what I mean, some of these ones?
Yeah.
I played most with is Anthony Niemi. Unbelievable.
That one of the lads is texting in, Shane Gallagher. He's not finished. He's 28. That story is unreal.
Is that not the best call on TalkSport ever?
Best ever. It's absolutely brilliant. What do you mean he's finished?
He's the best.
Okay, so Anthony Niemi's in.
Yeah. Rio Ferdinand. Okay.
We'll give you Rio. Rio was amazing.
But even so, Lucas Radeby was at Leeds. Unbelievable. Woodgate. And then, see, when Rio came in, and he was just like, he just strolled around. Unbelievable. And what a lot of people don't see is he was first in the morning. He was last out. He did loads for charity. He did for any of the young boys. He couldn't do enough for the young boys in the youth team and that. They're like, if they're anything, "Oh, Rio, can you sort this out? Can you sort what?" Rio would sort everything for them. They used to call him BT because he had everyone's phone number.
Rio was great, yeah. Rio was sound, to be fair.
But then obviously what he's gone on to do is amazing. But he was a level above. And then I say we got him from West Ham, and obviously he went on to Man United, and unbelievable.
I think Leeds done well to even get him when they did, because he could have went straight from West Ham to United. He didn't need that move.
But I think just at the time, Leeds had been in for Lampard. They were, signing these good young English players, and he was kind of the next one. And I'll say the money Leeds were throwing around was just like bang, like it was a world record, 18 million. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember the day he signed, and we all went back to the Bingley Arms that night, and I happened to be kind of almost sitting looking after him. But he was sound as bound. Jody Morris was with him as well, but he was great, Rio, yeah.
And well, that's what I mean. He for what he was and what he'd come from and the price and everything like that, he couldn't have done like any of the young boys. Like, he wouldn't even known half the youth team, but they would, "Rio, can you sort this?" No problem. Like, he couldn't do enough for anyone.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, that's a good start, Mabes. Niemi and Rio.
Roy Keane's got to go in the middle, hasn't he?
Roy's in, yeah. Roy's in everyone's team.
This is it. Well, he's the best to played, so you can't not be in. And then this one might divide opinion, because I played with, and I wasn't sure which way to go on this, because I played with Damien Duff at St Kevin's before I went away. But I'm going to put Kuehl in.
Kuehl ahead of Duff?
Yeah. Only because, and I found this a little bit in my career, I played in youth teams and everything with Duffer, but then Duffer went on to be a superstar way above my level, but it's not when I played with him.
Okay.
And I played with Harry right the way through. I was at Leeds longer. I played around him. I'd seen like his progress right in front of me, rather than, Duffer was at Blackburn, was really good, and then he went to Chelsea and he was a superstar and all that sort of thing. So I never really played when they're the same as some of these keepers or whatever. I never played when them at these level.
That's a fair argument. But on the Duff one, the boys raved about Duff. Andy Reid in particular just couldn't get over him. With Kuehl, Mabes, right? And when we were there, I never saw it with Kuehl, right? I'd go to the games and I'd be like, I don't see it, I'm just not sure, because everyone was going on about him. And then one day he was coming back from an injury or something, he trained in the reserves with us. And I was just like, oh my God, this fella. And he just blew me away. And that was when I was like, oh, this fella, now I get it.
But I'll just say, like, it ridiculous ability, right? And then he worked at his game. Like, I remember training with him and he tried a trick or something and I read it and I blocked it. And I was like, oh, I knew you were going to do that or something. And he's like, how'd you know? And he wanted to know how I knew he was going to do that. So he'd be able to change it. Like, he worked at his game. He was strong. But see, like, the belief he had as a youth team player, it never went away from him. Do you know what I mean? And it, like I say, he got in as a left back. No, I'm a left winger. Nah, I play up front. Do you know what I mean? Like, Jimmy Hasselbank got left out of the team. Who'd spent a lot of money because Harry said he played up front. Do you know this type of thing? He was just, and then obviously the move to Liverpool, and like, see his first year at Liverpool, he was brilliant. And I heard Michael Owen speaking about him the other day. See, the ability he had was ridiculous. He maybe just didn't quite get where he should have, maybe because of injuries or whatever.
One of the lads disagreed, saying Duff was unplayable for Blackburn, was far better than Kewell.
Well, if you go back to that era, I think you find Kewell's ahead at that time. And that's when, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, your argument, what we're saying though is fair enough. I think that you remember Duffer the early years.
Oh, Duffer, and listen, I see Duffer around now because he's at Celtic and the stuff he's doing there, whether he stays at Celtic now, he's going to join with the Irish team or whatever. But they love him at Celtic, and he's a good lad himself. Like, I played against Duffer, same age as me, so back to as far as under 11s when he was at Leicester Celtic.
Yeah.
And then he went to Lords and he came to Kevin's. But like, I made an international debut with Duff and Keane. Robbie Keane came on for me. Whatever happened to them, eh?
At right foot.
But I played, Gary Kelly was in front of me, so he went back and then Robbie went up. So I've one left, Al, and again, it'll divide because I'm going to put Viduka in.
Viduka wouldn't divide. Viduka was amazing.
I know, but again, when Robbie Keane was at Leeds and things.
Yeah.
But see, when Viduka came, and I remember there was a work permit problem, and he was training with our group for a bit, and you're thinking, he's ridiculous. And then I remember watching him finishing one day, and like the size of his head and that, and he just heading everything in, and he was, again, a brilliant character. Like, he lived 5 minutes from the training ground. I remember him coming in, and he's late for cool down, jumps over the fence in his tracksuit, keys in his pocket, does the cool down, jumps over the fence, goes home. He turned up in a... He
was one of the nicest I ever met as well. What a lovely fella.
Amazing, but he turned up once in his tracksuit and they're like, oh, it's club suits. He's like, I can't be bothered.
Turned so laid back.
Chelsea, we're all in suits and that. He's in his tracksuit. They're like, you'll get fined. Ah, well, do you know what I mean? It's just, didn't care. But like, where we 4 against Leeds or Liverpool and all these, do you know what I mean? Unbelievable. So again, I'm not discounting anyone's career, but at the time when I played and when they were there, Viduka was ridiculous.
Okay, that's fair enough, Mabes. And that's your team. So Niemi, Rio, Keane, Kewell, and Viduka. To be fair, it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team.
They're all right. And listen,
Kev's team a run for its money.
But there's, like, I was certainly first, time at Leeds, Ireland, all that. See the players, and I say, the time I've done well to play any games. Sat in the best benches in Europe at Leeds, and then Ireland to get 10 caps with the calibre. Like, I was reading up about Steve Finnan, won Champions League, Europa League, everything. Played every division, won championships everywhere.
Yeah.
And then like Stephen Carr, Gary Kelly, amazing.
Okay, Mabes, that was absolutely brilliant, and thanks very much for coming on. You've been
no problem.
For a long, long time, Mabes.
My best man. This is how bad it is. My best man, this is.
And look how kind I've been to you tonight. And tell Lee, Gracie and Jude were asking for them as well. And I'll chat to you soon, okay?
Top man, Al.
Thanks, Mabes.
Cheers, pal.